Hey guys, it's here bringing you another video. Now, welcome to something not new, but something we used to do a long time ago. And depending how this video does, we might bring them back. But basically, this is profile reviews. I used to do these years ago, and for a lot of people, they actually did help. I was told some of the advice I gave helped people climb. But why I stopped doing them, actually, was the advice became quite repetitive. So a lot of the time, it's very similar advice to help people get better at the game. So it was, oh, you should buy more wards, or you should do this, do that. Like, let's see if there's going to be different advice now. But we're also, some people may have noticed, we're using a different website. Now, not sponsored. I wasn't sponsored by op.gg when you used to use that. But League of Graphs, again, I guess I'm plugging it, but I'm not being paid. It just has a bit more detail on it, and it's got more detail that I think is just a lot nicer to the eye. That if you go into, like, right now we're on Mr. Midi chunks, you can click on patterns, and there's all, like, different information that we can see as well. So it's a bit more in depth, which is what I wanted. So let's begin. So firstly, we are starting with EUS Mr. Midi chunks. Quite a long-term viewer of mine, and as you can see here, clearly been a silver player for quite some time. Has got a 50% win rate in solo queue, so actually a negative win rate in solo queue, flex games only 8 games, but a silver player, which is very much average, which is completely fine. In solo queue, silver 2, slightly more losses, but only by 2, so it's nothing major, and is a Echo near one trick. So let's get into a little bit of what we can kind of see. So started ranked on this account at least in season 7, bronze 1, and then is silver 4, silver 2, silver 3, silver 1. So did finish in silver 1 and since been demoted from the end of season. So around in that area. Hot streak, currently on a game win streak. Echo, obviously lover. Chain wins, so if they have a bit of momentum, they continue winning. And then in the game itself is this player has a better win rate when 2-0 or 3-1 at 10 minutes than other silver players, and 21% higher win rate when that happens. So that's pretty good going. The Echo itself, which is great stats actually. So 68 games. Let's make sure it's on solo queue. 64 games of solo queue, basically 61% win rate. So that's really good going. Good KD, has to be said. And then obviously, the next champion tied in 9 games. That is where it's letting you down a little bit here, but only 9 games. But obviously that would be 3 wins, 6 losses. And then the Jin, also not bad. And then you can see there's a little bit of other champions here or there with varying degree of success. Recently, it does seem, as we can see in this match history, Xerath has been a recent pickup. And the KD's good. Again, this is what looks to be support Xerath every game. And the KD is completely fine for support Xerath. If anything, I'd say the deaths are a little bit high. But to be 6.4 kills, 7.2 deaths, but then up to 12.2 assists every game, that's completely fine. And let's see what we can kind of have a little look at. So I've always said when it comes to kill participation, it does vary obviously with what role you're at. I would always try to aim for, pretty much at every role, maybe not top, but every role I would try to aim for at least 50% kill participation. You're being involved in, most of the kills in the game, or half the kills in the game at least. And on average, we are seeing in some of the games that is true, some of them are not. If we kind of just see here, so like the win here, 58 kill participation. Another win, 25%, so much less kill participation. That could be, again, a stomp that like your mid laner got fed or something like that. But that is that. Then we've got some Volibear top lane and Volibear jungle, so there's a bit of experimentation happening there, which is not bad. A bit of normal games, obviously, which, again, I'm more focused on ranked games. And that maybe, okay, so what it looks like Mr. Midi Chunks might be doing as a player, which isn't a bad thing, Echo one trick. So nearly 3 months ago, Echo one trick. And now since coming back to League of Legends, maybe in the last week and a half, maybe still playing a bit of Echo, but maybe wanting to diversify a little bit from being a one trick. So that's interesting. And again, that's a great use of preseason. Preseason is the time that you should look to expand your champion pool, because yes, it's still ranked, but it's less risky. It's not the season of ranked. So that's good. So here's also personal pattern, really interesting. So 20-minute games, roughly a 20-minute game, you win. You snowball the early, you win. Really good win rate there. If the game goes late game, this is where I see it's seeming that you have a weakness, so your win rate goes down quite considerably if the game goes to 35 minutes. And then your win streak after a hot streak or cold streak, again, it's a bit of weird information, but basically, if you win 3 games in a row, you then lose the next one. But you might also, by this, you go on losing waves as well, potentially. KD overall positive, and positive KD and positive KDA, so that's good to see. Win rate, so mid lane is the dominant role, but also support, not looking too bad there. Is duoing a bit, and clearly one partnership that is working better than the other one. But yeah, mid, very impressive, 60% win rate. Jungle, less so. So that is something maybe as an area you can improve. And also top lane. But it does seem your 2 main roles are mid and jungle. So yeah, jungle, there definitely needs to be something there as an improvement. But yeah, really focus well on the snowballing mechanic. Obviously, snowballing is part and parcel of what we can see here in the personal pattern, as well as we can see that in the win rate as well. So there's something in your late game that isn't quite right, apparently. So that is also worth knowing, like, why does your late game not go as well? Now, the one thing that League of Graphs is not doing, which op.gg did, is tell me how your control warding is. Maybe if I click on a match itself, will it tell me then? So again, your vision score is a bit low in this particular game to a Pyke. Let's just see in a few games, is that a pattern that we're seeing? So that was one game. Let's look at this one. 38 to 35. Again, lower than the enemy support. Let's look at the next one. 51 to 75. So there is a bit of a pattern emerging that the vision score is low. Let's make sure we are on right. Let's go. Where's a good game? This is a pretty good game. Actually, we'll do this game and this game. So this game, 111 vision score, 80 vision score. So far, we've not seen a game that you've got higher vision score. And then this game, tied. So that is something very much we can hone in on a little bit as like a piece of advice. Your vision score, so far of looking at these games, you haven't beaten any support against you in vision. Let's have a look at, like, top lane is less important, I guess, but vision score for top lane, 13 for 9. Yeah, that was a bit of an irrelevant game. I think that was a stomp. Anything worth seeing? So like a Trundle jungle. Let's have a look at this one. So Trundle, vision score 8, 24. Much better. Okay, that's good. Obviously, yeah, it is a silver game. And average ranks, I will say, are synonymous with people not buying vision. Do remember that buying vision and having vision is what is a lot of the time winning you games. It can save a teammate's life. You know, having vision in a certain area sees a roam happen. You're going to avoid that gank because of that. Like, one thing that is we can just straight away say is maybe focus on the vision a little bit more, which isn't a bad thing. A lot of League players' weakness is that. And as for, like, what you're actually doing as a player, you know, it's hard for me to give advice when it comes to champion stuff because you have been an Echo One Trick for a long time, it seems, but you are now trying to diversify. And that's cool. I really respect that. So far for your Xerath, again, nothing looks particularly wrong. You are experimenting a bit with the Arcane Comet versus Dark Harvest. I personally prefer Arcane Comet, but Dark Harvest is a very good way to go, but I would say it's just very situational. For example, this game, Dark Harvest Xerath versus Braum, that's going to be a hard task to get a Braum down to start getting Dark Harvest stacks. Like, yeah, you'll get it on Caitlyn, but then there's also a Nasus, a Viego, and Yone. You know, there's some strong champions in there that, are you really going to be farming Dark Harvest stacks in that game? Maybe you'll get some, but Arcane Comet throughout the whole game might just be giving you more in a game that's a bit rough to get actual, like, Dark Harvest stacks. So that is another thing that I would potentially think about. But something that I can notice, by the way, is your MMR is not in a bad way, because this has LP gains. Plus 16, minus 15, plus 15, minus 1 because you're probably on, like hardly any LP. Minus 14, plus 15, minus 11, minus 15, plus 15. So honestly, by the looks of it, your MMR is roughly even, if maybe a slightly positive for you, and that's really good. So you want to be in positive MMR. It means you're gaining slightly more than you're losing, and that is where you are right now. So I'd say keep playing. Go for it. You know, it seems that you're enjoying, hopefully, the game again after having a 3-month break. And if you are wanting to expand away from Echo and not being a one-trick anymore, all power to you. And one thing I will just say as a thought is Echo obviously he's an assassin, but a bit of a weird assassin. You are going completely away from Echo as a champion as for playstyle. So like Volibear is nothing like Echo. Xerath is nothing like Echo. So after being a one trick or a main for so long, you can go to things that like have a similarity to Echo. That's what a lot of people do, and then you can start diversifying even more from there. So maybe it's worth considering doing that as well. But anyway, that is profile number 1 done. And again, a little bit hard to get like a lot of advice in for you, because again, like, you know, I want to kind of get in depth about the champion stuff sometimes, but honestly, it seems that you're a silver player right now, but you have the potential of climbing because you're a snowballer, and that's probably why Echo is so good for you as well, potentially. Stick to champions that can snowball is what I would say also. Right, next up, we've got Speedwagon on EU West. So here we go. Gold 4. All right, so we have a gold player for the last 3 seasons. A bunch more champion diversity here. We'll click that solo queue button. So 730 games of solo queue, slight negative win rate, but hardly anything to mention. 4-game deficit in 730 games is fine. And we have, so silver 3, gold 4, gold 3, gold 3. It's currently gold 4. So did finish in gold 3, so has been demoted since the season has finished. And then if we change this to solo queue. So we have a lot of diversity here. Wow, okay. Are we solo? Okay, a bit of duoing happening, which isn't, you know, a lot of people duo. And I'm not sure if this means how many games individually you've played with these people, because if so, you have played 850-odd games with this person alone. I think that's what it means, which is a lot of games. KDA-wise, again, technically negative KD, but very good positive KDA. And that is fine because a lot of your games are support. Champion-wise, Leona the highest with a 53 win rate, 50% win rate. Then Samira with a 45. Something's going wrong there. Swain, 60, nearly 61, fantastic. Tam, 54. Pike, 67. Viego, 37, 38 roughly. 61, 50. So I've always said these champions here, especially if you've got quite a lot of games on them, your top champions are your top champions, right? You probably want them to have a positive win rate. In hopeful, in reality, you know, I don't even think on my Huzzy account, I don't think all of them have a positive win rate right now. But anyway, so let's see. So you're currently on a cold streak and you lose when you get behind. So if you get behind, you have a hard time making a comeback. That is your pattern. So again, at 20 minutes, you're good. You get ahead, you win early. If you lose a game, it's slightly more likely that you'll lose the next game. Again, not an expert in late game, but not as bad as what we saw with the previous player. So still, there's something there. But if you're on a hot streak, so 3 games in a row, it's likely, slightly, you'll continue your hot streak. So that's good. As for anything else, change this. It is on rank solo. So you're losing 18, gaining 11. Okay, so MMR is not... Wait, why? Hang on. That's weird. Minus 11... Why? Minus 18 plus 12. Oh, this is weird. Okay, so it's easy kind of to say, yeah, might say, yeah, MMR is not in a good place. So working out why, again, it's hard to know all the information. Weird. So I wouldn't think that your MMR should be in a weird place. You've got a roughly 50% win rate in 730 games. That gives the background system way over the information it needs to say you are probably a gold 4 player right now, maybe gold 3, roughly. So it's really weird to me that we're seeing plus 11, plus 12, and minus 18 with a 50-odd% win rate. That seems really harsh. So what I would say to you, a big advice I would give, I know it's probably obvious to say that, oh, try to win some games, but you have variety in nearly every game you play. And obviously, I know I'm one to talk, but sometimes I do wish, like, how do I say? I'm a content creator that plays a very weird way, a very unique way in some avenues, that I do play a different champion every single game. I've never advocated that's the way to perfectly play League. It's the way that I play League. I make it harder for myself. I know I do. I've also advocated don't copy content creators fully. Now, I'm not saying that Speedwagon is copying how I play, but what I'm saying is you need to recover your MMR, and I would actually try to recover your MMR before the new season begins, because I'm not 100% that MMR fully resets on placement games. Certain things do. You do go down in rank, you do your placement games. If you do well, that will help, because placement games have higher value on MMR and rating than any other game, the first 10 of the season. I would want you to try and recover those. So what I would say is, maybe for the next few days, if you are continuing to play solo queue, let's shrink that champion pool by a fair margin and get some consistency of what you're playing, just to get like a bit of a win streak going if possible. Because again, if you're looking at this remake there, which again you're playing right now of me recording, 15 minutes ago, but support, AD carry, support, support Pantheon, support Poppy, support. So okay, there is consistency. So you're a support AD carry player, but champion-wise is very different. Jhin, Braum, Ezreal, Samira, Yasuo, Alistar, Leona, Braum, Pyke, Pantheon. I'm trying to get to a point that there's 2 of the same champion in a row. Poppy, Leona, Alistar, Pyke, Yasuo, Senna, Yasuo. That's close. There's 1 game in between there. Aphelios, Leona. Is there one? Is there literally not one? Yeah, I think, again, we're over a month away now, because you probably had a bit of a break when the season ended. There isn't one. Okay. So this is where I would do as I say, not as I do. Consistency is going to help you massively. So I completely get that you probably, by the look of it, are slightly like me, that you get bored quite easily. You play a lot of champions. I would still potentially get a bit of consistency by playing 2 or 3 games in a row of a champion, then moving on. This is where I should do that if I actually wanted to help myself climb, but I don't. I might be doing it in the upcoming season to get the Huzzy account back in Master, because it's a good thing to do. You get more consistent, you get more reliable on that champion. So I would say that. Do 3 games of Samira in a row, 3 games of Yasuo, 3 games of whatever. Consistency is going to help you massively. And also, I would try to push for a win streak before, the end of preseason. One thing I do want to check, as we did last game, so let's click on some support games. So we'll click that Braum game, Alistar, Leona, and Braum. Let's just see these. So, vision score, 38-42. Not bad. Highest vision score in the game. Yep, so you're doing well with vision there. Next up, 49-17, but you have a high kill participation, so this seems to be, maybe you did lose the game, but it might have been a more roaming involving game than doing vision. But that is something to think about. Don't let the vision slip. That vision score, if the vision was really good, maybe that someone got caught in late game, you never know. The vision score is very important. 23-44, so again, the vision nearing half of your opponent. So again, remember, vision score, will it tell us what it is? Okay, it doesn't say it specifically, but vision score is calculated by vision gained, vision taken away, if I'm not mistaken, from the enemy team. So you want to be actively doing both. New vision gained. You might be even getting vision score based on does an assist or kill happen in a ward that you placed or something like that. So it is important. That is a score that you should be taking seriously. And then the last game, 32-43. So you did better in that game, which is good. So yeah, that does seem to be your duo partner, by the way, by the looks of it. But yeah, so vulnerable later, died to ganks. So again, died to ganks, if that also is a pattern, and everybody do this in yourself. Every single game you can click on, you can get, your information. Late level 6 as well, by the way. So this player reached level 6 far later than their opponent of the same role. So the thresh against you hit level 6 a minute and 46 before. That is quite a big difference. So, and then 4 deaths before 10 minutes, which again could go to die to ganks, which is vision. So that is maybe something that we could see as a pattern emerging also, but that's a good thing. Easy fix, really easy fix. That's a good thing. So there's that one. Next up, so we have another one trick happening, but Nishiro again, quite popular, is someone in our community, so why not? Oh, we've had an improvement, Nishiro. Hell yeah. So let's do solo queue. So a Nautilus. Oh, of course. Yeah, I do remember. So silver, bronze even, and then gold. That's good. With also a fantastic win rate. So a nearly 59% win rate in solo queue. Like, not too many games, has to be said. So, again, low amount of games with a 59 roughly % win rate. You'd climb. You might even be able to push for platinum, which is fantastic. Let's go into ranked solo. Okay, so can't judge too much because I'm not active in ranked. So we'll just go very brief into this one. And the only thing that we'll just majorly say is obviously the Brom is working as your most recent pickup. 73% win rate. Higher win rate than the Nautilus, but Nautilus has nearing 10 times more games. Everything has a positive win rate though. The 4 champions that you've picked up. So overall, seems to be pretty positive. Again, can't really go into too much because you've not played ranked in 100 days and that's a little bit too far away to perfectly go up. Again, my throat is going nuts, apologies. So let's move on to a yellow lemon. So we have a platinum player, so highest rank so far we've seen, ranked solo over here. 52.3% overall win rate, not bad. By the way, this is now, we're roughly in the top 10% of the game. We're bronze season 7, silver, silver, gold, gold, and now plat. And will say they finished season 11 in gold 1, but now is in plat, so they have been promoted since pre-season, which is good. Again, unfortunately, you don't get the platinum rewards, but it does help you with your upcoming placements, so well done. All right, so champion-wise, we have a jungler, but with a bit of a mixtures here or there. So, we have Nocturne as your most played. Very good KD. 11.2 kills a game, 5.2 deaths, 8.8 assists, with a near 69% win rate. That's great. Camille with a 70% win rate. Wow. LeBlanc, slightly negative win rate. Lee Sin, positive win rate. Hecarim, fantastic win rate. Graves, negative. Are we a solo player or duo player? We are, again, a duo player, roughly. But again, Diamond, that might not be ranked. I don't know. Can we see here? Are they playing... I don't recognize the Wrath guy in any of these, so potentially, again, this goes off all the games you played, so that would be ARAMs, normals, etc. So we are a snowballing player, and also, okay, again, I've got to make just rough judgments here. Potential, you are a mental strength player of when you're doing well, you're doing really well. When you're not doing well, it's not going well at all. Because judging off your win rates off on a win streak, you're positive, you're confident, your win rate's getting better and better and better. If you're on a cold streak, it's actually getting worse, your win rate. Not just from the 3 losses in a row, you're likely to keep losing. You're a good early game player, and that's an interesting one. So your 3rd game of each play session you do, you're likely to lose it by 6.4% on average. Is that fatigue kicking in? Is that something, a bit of distraction after, your 3rd game in? So that might be a really dumb thing to say, but if you play like what I do a lot of the time on stream, I can sometimes do a 5-hour stream and not have a break. It's really bad to do that. This to me is telling you, play, your games, and if you don't, have a break after each game or after every 2 games. Have a break. Have a 5-10 minute break. Go for a walk. Go to the toilet. Grab a drink. Just chill a little bit. Then get into your next game. Don't constantly queue. Because again, that is weird how that works. But it's a pattern. The system, League of Graphs is picking up that you lose your 3rd game of your play session on average 6.4% less, which is crazy. As for what we're playing right now, bit of fiddle. Camille still. Akali, Kled, set, so top lane centric at the moment with a bit of jungle. We do have some AD Scion. Not my favourite thing, but that's fine. With also building some tank Scion, and that's good. It is honestly, I would say, refreshing to see a Scion player not always go AD, not every single game. Some of them are committed to the cause and they just play AD every game. You don't have to. So it is nice and refreshing to see you are smart by the looks of it. You're against a Yone. Going AD into that would basically be inting. Well, look, you went full tank with a Titanic, which is fine, and you did really well. Smart. That's really good. So anything else like Renekton, you start tanky? Yeah, start tanky because he's an early game monster, and now you're going into more damage where you're outscaling a Renekton. Smart. Cho'Gath? Okay, so Cho'Gath, I will say, might be a bit of an outlier because you've gone AD into Cho'Gath. Not advised, because Cho'Gath, with his ulti, if you're squishy, you're dead. Like, you're just flat out dead. 1,000 true damage, boom, you're gone. So that may be a bit of a blip of underestimating a Cho'Gath a bit. Because, yeah, Tanky would have been good against Cho'Gath too. And even, hell, get a Hull Breaker later and go for that split push. Because you probably will be stronger in split push than a Cho'Gath would be. But it is nice to see that there is definitely thought process and smarts happening here when it comes to your Scion games. Some really good performances on Camille, 14-1. Can I just see, what would everybody say? Would that be an AD Scion against the Camille? If it's got AD Scion, that's bad. Here we go. Kinda. So it's hybrid. So it has Hull Breaker. So you're looking to split push against the Camille. That ain't gonna work. So well done for abusing that, though. That's good. But what I would say as a little thing straight away, recently at least, in some of your games, quite high deaths on average. So like 10 death Fiddle, 11 death, 9 death, 12 death, 8 death. I'd say roughly anything over like 7, 8 deaths is where I'd have a little bit of a little look there of why. If you're 15 kills, 8 deaths, that's fine. But, 7, 12, 7, 8, 15, 10, it's on the border. So, yeah, I'd potentially think a little bit more when you play. I know it's a really dumb thing to say, I've said it for years, but most League of Legends players don't actively think when they play. They completely autopilot, and that's where you can just end up, and I've done it, we all have, you just end up in a death loop, and you just keep dying quite a lot, and you die way too often. That might be a weakness of yours that might be worth looking at. So, worth also noting, they've actually got up to Platinum 3 in preseason, but then got demoted down to Platinum 4. But that does show some potential really good growth, and that's a good sign that things are going okay. Once again, though, you are a little bit better than the player that we saw last in terms of consistency. So there is a lot of different champions happening, but there is a little bit of consistency. So 2 Fiddle games, 2 Camille games, bunch of Scion games. But it's, again, that consistency I'd say might be missing here or there. So that is worth thinking about. Is that having that consistency? If we go into patterns, is there anything else that's going to tell us? Let's see. So you positive win rate on both sides, but you do prefer red side. If you get 2 kills at 10 minutes, you have a higher win rate than the average platinum player. So, play aggressive in the early, but that's maybe also maybe you're an aggressive player and that's why you do die a little bit too much in some games. It does seem that you average 5.4 matches per play session. God, there's a lot of information here. So vision per minute. What is interesting to see is per session match is win rate is session matches count. Does your win rate change depending how big your play session is or anything like that? Again, a lot of data you can kind of go into, which is very interesting. Champion-wise, how many champions? A lot. Holy, you have a lot of champs. Look how many champs you've played. So again, maybe restrict that. Is that in ranked? Okay, solo queue? Yeah, a lot. A little bit less because there's some flex, but it's still a lot. Potentially, it's worth looking into that. And there's your Scion, by the way, so maybe a recent pickup. 28.6% win rate. Again, keep playing it. I've always said the judge of when you know if a champion is for you or not is around 20 games. So you've only played 7. So obviously, yes, you'd have to do pretty well to turn that win rate around. But there's your Scion, your Yasuo. So again, some not great win rates here or there with champions, but also you probably just haven't given them enough time yet. Again, there's not many games, 10 games, 7 games. So maybe, restrict the champion pool a bit, play the same thing a little bit more, because I have a look at the champs that you have played a lot of. 45 games, 69% win rate. 37 games, 70% win rate. So you're the type of player that likely does get pretty damn good at a champion when you actually get consistent at it. So if you are wanting to expand your champion pool, keep going with it. Obviously try to raise the win rate, but I'm not going to sit here right now and go, stop playing Scion, because that's not the right thing to say. Keep playing the champions you want to play, and with consistency, your win rate should rise. So again, much of the same as others. Try to get, you have done it, here or there, play the same thing a few times in a row, but I think that also would help you. And let's go into our final person of today. And again, if you guys want this more, please do let me know. We have a Bronze 1 Ace, negative win rate. So again, hopefully we'll be able to find why. support player. That might be why, because support is quite rough in the lower ratings you go. But only, you know, a recent ranked player. So first ever season on ranked, bronze, it's fine. You know, not many games played as well. You do snowball, you're on a cold streak right now, and you lose when you're behind. So, you know, let's not be, you know, it's not too bad. So, there has been demoted and promotions. Where do we finish? Bronze 1. Okay, so you're back in Bronze 1, which is good. Champion-wise, Blitzcrank main champion, then Morgana, Nunu. Presume that's Nunu jungle. It is. Okay, cool. Tam Kent. So it does seem to be mainly a support player with a little bit of jungle, which is fine, but also a little bit of mid. Hey, that's pretty good. So that's a mid lane Victor game. You've actually done pretty solid in 9-7-10. That's not too bad with first strike. So, you know, potentially shows you don't have to stick in support if you wanted to expand a little bit. Anything worth knowing straight away? Okay, so phase rush Nunu, it's not bad. It's just, I guess, the riskier way to play Nunu, because Aftershock, I'd say, is the bit more consistent way to play him. Let's see, we have Cold Streak. So if you go 3 losses in a row, you're actually good at bouncing back. Your win rate, though, goes down at late game, so there needs to be maybe a bit more knowledge in late game. Of like what to do, or vision, or being, you know, it could be like what I've done sometimes in really late game. You just get caught at the wrong time and boom, you lose the game. But that's an interesting, usually your first game of your session is lower on average. So this is where I'd potentially say, if you don't already, let's actually check. If you go into queues, so you do play a decent amount of normals, which is good. I'm trying to see, when did you play a ranked game? Because, okay, here, so this is all in the same session. What I was going to say is potentially play at least a normal game before your first ranked game. Because, again, you're losing your first ranked game on average more. Maybe because you're not fully warmed up or something. So that's just a weird thing just to kind of note. Make sure you're just warmed up, ready to play. And then your 25-minute, you know, win rate, that kind of area is good. So that's kind of like, I would say, well, in modern day League of Legends, late game is literally at like 20 minutes. But in old school terms, 25 minutes is like mid game, mid to like early late game, and you struggle a bit more in like late game. So what I would say is, if we have a little look as well, how's your vision? How's your vision control when we're playing support? Because that does seem to be your main role. So let's have a look. 65, 42, lower. Next up, for 32, 75. Okay, so straight away 2 games, vision control could be up. So again, this is a simple of when I've said this. So yeah, 15 to 24, both quite low, but vision control is really important, and this is a pretty easy thing to improve. So anybody in this, you know, profile review session, or if you're going to do this to yourself and you are now, you know, click on your own games, oh, my vision control is lower. Again, it's a really good thing to point out, because it's something you can fix quite easily. Literally, ward more. Like, that is it. Ward more in vision areas you do not have vision in. And that is not going to, like, you know, obviously don't just ward for the sake of it. Ward in good locations. But that is going to help your games massively. It's going to help you, because one thing I will just point out, your deaths are a little bit high in some games. 12... 11, 10, 11, and honestly, it might just go hand in hand with your vision control isn't the best. So if you raise the vision control, honestly, those deaths will probably come down, which is great, and that's a really nice place to be on something to improve. And I think, honestly, vision control is something that we all always need to get better at. It's probably something that I even need to get better at. So it's just a really good thing to kind of point out. Anything worth knowing in patterns? Let's have a look. So this is all of the games, so including normals. But as a player, so again, if you get 2 kills, you do really well. So compared to bronze players on EU West, you win a lot more. Like, again, a bronze player on EU West is going to win 61% of games that they are 2 kills plus at 10 minutes. But you win 78 games that you're 2 kills plus, which is great. When you're -2, and this is, again, a good point to make, when someone is down on kills in bronze, they're at a 38% win rate. You are at a 25% win rate. So you struggle, which right there, it's losers when behind. You're struggling when you get behind in the early game. You struggle to make a comeback. So what is the best way to stop that happening? don't be down on kills in the early game. Like, that is maybe the big point that I can just say is vision control is the must, and that might help one with you dying less. It might even give you more kills. So that's a really good area to be. Anything worth knowing. So your kill participation is roughly in the range of like 43 to 45 on average, which isn't bad. Again, 50 is what I would try to aim for. Win rate. So wait, your average again about 5.3 games per game session. And again, win rate / session matches count. So your win rate, depending how many play games... So wait, is this trying to tell me if you play 10 games, your win rate spikes up to 65%? So the more you play, the better you do? Is that what that's trying to tell me? I don't officially know. I'm not sure that's correct, so I'm not going to say anything about that nature. But what I would say is we've got the core, we've got the foundation of a fine, brand new ranked player. Again, hardly any games to really go off, let's be honest. And you're also... I'm not trying to put people off playing support in bronze, but it is hard to support in bronze because, in essence, you are supporting... I'm not trying to be harsh here. You're supporting a bronze AD carry. So you're having to do a lot of work to try and support that player who may not be the best themselves, but they're trying to carry. So I'd say it is a hard thing to do. You are a solo player, I think, in ranked itself. Yeah, it does look like it. But I'd say is just keep doing what you're doing. Again, I'm not going to give crazy amounts of advice because you're a brand new ranked player. Enjoy the game. Have fun. Find the champions you're still kind of testing and finding out. You are playing what I'd say is the right thing. You're playing a lot of normal games, and that's good. That is the thing that you should be doing. Again, the only thing that I also can mention is consistency. Like, even in normal games, to get better at the game, play 2-3 games of the same champion just to raise that consistency level a little bit. So, vision control is a big one. Dying a little bit less, but that might come hand in hand with the vision control. But there we go. I think the foundations are there. You know, what I'd like to do is next year, let's see where Ace is as a ranked player if he does continue to play in the upcoming Season 12. But that is going to be it, everybody. Not done a profile review in quite some time. Hopefully the advice was useful, but I don't know how useful it would be. But sometimes it's just the basic advice just to point out something can help a lot of people. So let me know what you think. Let me know also if you used to watch the old profile reviews. Do you think League of Graphs was better, or would you prefer me to go back on op.gg? Let me know. Again, I don't have a massive preference. I just wanted something a bit different. But yeah, let me know if you guys enjoyed this. If you'd like more of them, I will. You know, I like doing them. I just don't want the advice to be repetitive all the time. But anyway, that is going to be it. If you guys did enjoy, do throw a like on it, throw a comment, throw a subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. And again, Merry Christmas, festive season, and all that. This video is probably being uploaded, believe it or not. I'm recording ahead of time. This is probably actually right now for me the 25th of December. It's probably the 24th of December's second video is, I think, where roughly I'm aiming this video to be. So it would have just turned the 25th of December of this video uploading here in the UK. So again, Merry Christmas. And yeah, thanks everybody for the amazing support that you guys offer. You guys are the best. So anyway, I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.
Call down the reckoning to bring back hope and peace. Restore our glory to live forever. Bring down the dark regime. I know how to unleash eternal